wild weather is causing havoc across the country over the weekend. The community of Beeston, Nottinghamshire, is in shock after a homeless man froze to death and actually had to be cut from his car by firefighters.
Horrific, isn't it? Well, an investigation is underway after police were called to the scene with reports the man was using the car as a shelter.
And all of this comes after a stretch of icy cold weather resulted in more than 2,500 people in Cumbria being without electricity.
Well, Cumbria's Fire and Rescue Service says it worked through the night to rescue drivers from cars who were trapped in deep snow.
And the Met Office has issued a fourth yellow weather warning for heavy rain that will last until 6 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, apparently rain is likely to cause some disruption to travel as well and could result in some flooding. It's an added problem.
Just to add to the fun, well, let's speak to the meteorologist, John Hammond, who joins us this morning from Upper Wensleydale, I believe. Good morning to you. Just bring us up to date then on how bad it is, because I think it could be quite a sort of ice rink of a commute for a lot of people this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's snowing like Billy outside here, as it is across other parts of northern England, particularly higher level routes. The focus now is to higher places because the air actually is not as cold as it was a couple of days ago, as warm air, wet air is trying to push up from the south. In fact, much of southern England is at 8 or 9 degrees and it's raining we've got to worry about. The nation is divided actually at the moment between cold air, which is still locked across sort of Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England, where we've got those sort of ice rink conditions, further south where it's a really soggy do, and in between the cold and the mild we've got a band of wet and in places wintry weather. So it's for the likes of Northern England, North Wales, the Peak District, southern Scotland. Here the focus of any snowfall today, as I say, particularly up over the higher level routes here in Upper Wensleydale, but those Transpennine routes are going to be badly affected by snowfall over the next few hours, and that band of wet stroke wintry weather is not going to go very far at all today. So it's through these areas where we can see further impactful snowfall. But I have to be honest, the threat of snow to lower levels is much more reduced now than it was a couple of days ago. So we saw those scenes from Cumbria. That was freakish. That was unusual because the snow not only was so heavy, but it affected areas which don't normally get that much snow. Yeah, up on the fells, we normally get huge amounts of snow, but not low down across southern Cumbria. So for southern Cumbria, I think the thaw will continue through today. It won't be a rapid thaw, and that's good news. It'll be a gradual thaw. If we have a rapid thaw, that raises the prospect of flooding. So that's some good news. If you live in Cumbria this morning, you're thinking, oh, this snow is disappearing fast. I think it'll disappear gradually through today, and it'll keep on snowing across the higher fells. That snow will be locked up in the fells, and it won't melt and rush down the river valleys very quickly. So that is some consolation. Looking through the next 24 hours, I mentioned that divide between the mild air in the south and the cold air in the north. Actually, that cold air is going to win that battle over the next 24 hours and rush back down again. So by this time tomorrow, guys, we'll all be back in the cold air again. It'll be frosty tomorrow. It'll be frosty again on Wednesday. Not much snow, but cold. And then as we look towards the latter part of this week, the next Atlantic system is going to rush in and trying to oust that mild air again. And that means more rain and more snow for the high ground of northern Britain. So the mild and the cold jostling for supremacy through the rest of this week, meaning a lot of rain and for some more snowfall. So numerous warnings on the Met Office website. If you dare go on there, you might get lost in there. There are that many warnings at the moment. But I think by the end of the week, into next weekend, I think we'll lose the cold air for the time being. For the next week or so, it's rain we'll have to be concerned about. And then as we look towards the middle of the week, middle of the month, that is, middle of December, it gets quite interesting because the cold air stays over Europe. It stays over Russia, intensely cold air there. And there are some indications as we head towards Christmas time that we could see that cold air starting to burst back towards us again. So watch this space.
That's a very heavy hint. What are you trying to say without saying it?
I'm trying to say it without saying it. Yeah, I think the prospects towards Christmas, let's say, are somewhat higher than they normally are.
Oh well,
you see, white Christmases are rarer than hen's teeth, but maybe not so rare a prospect this year.
Oh well, as it's chucking it down, snowing like Billy-o, however we want to put it, where you are.
It's lovely out.
I was going to say North Wensleydale. Is that far from Hawes, where they make the cheese?
I'm about 1.5 miles from Hawes.
Oh, now you see, I love Hawes.
World.
If you go to the Wensleydale factory there, they've got an incredible restaurant where you can get everything with every sort of the cheeses that they do. Fantastic. So I know what you'll be doing today, John.
I won't be going to Hawes. I'll be getting on the high flowers and enjoying the snowfall, I tell you.
Oh, but a tobogganing, maybe.
I'll be well equipped. If you are thinking of doing something as foolhardy as I'm thinking of doing today, then you've got to have the right equipment, because although the temperature here in my little village is about freezing, up there it's about -3 and blowing a gale and blizzard conditions. So it's not a day to be roaming the Pennines without the proper equipment.
Yeah, good advice.
No, yeah, absolutely. John, thank you very much. Well, do you head back down, bring plenty of cheese with you.
Yeah, and take some pictures. I'd like to see some pictures of you tobogganing or whatever it is you're off to do.
I will.
Play it as that. Thank you very much.